Hello fellow Clashers, it is KairosTime once again and thank you for watching this video. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the KairosTime family. Also, if you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. I will do my best to answer them, but also if anybody else can answer any questions, I would love it. I would love to create some type of an environment where everybody can go to my channel and post questions, and other people that are good at the game will also go and help other people. If we can do that, we can really help other players get better at the game, which is really what my goal is when it comes to posting these videos. Now, I recently had somebody place in my comments, they've been noticing that I've been messing around with all skeleton decks, and one of my favorite all skeleton decks is the Siege Rocket deck with the mirror in there. Obviously, that is not the greatest deck in itself, although it is a lot of fun to mess around with. When I made that deck, I actually had some people comment and ask what they could do to make an actual Rocket Siege deck that the main win condition is just Rocket Siege, and how to play that. So in this video I'm going to be talking a little bit about that and how to build a deck. Now, I've created a deck right here that follows the principles that I'm going to be talking about, but I'm mostly going to be talking about how you can make your own Rocket Siege deck regardless of what cards you have, and talk about how to play it and choosing the best cards that you're going to want in there. Now, when it comes to you playing Rocket Siege, you have to realize that your primary win condition is the rocket. That is your offensive card. Other than that, the rest of your cards should be primarily used for defense, so that you can basically create an unstoppable force for your opponent to try and get past, and they won't be able to get past it, so that you can rocket their towers to death. Now, obviously, it takes some skill, it takes some practice, because there are so many very offensive cards in the game. In order to do that, the best thing that you can do is have at least 2 buildings in your deck. Now, I have in this deck the Tombstone and the Inferno Tower. I chose the Tombstone because it's really cheap. It's good at stopping Hog Riders for a lower elixir cost. It's also good at distracting and doing all sorts of different things like that. And the Inferno Tower I have for really big tanks. Right now, if I didn't have the Inferno Tower, then I would really be struggling right here. Because of that super strong defense, I'm able to really focus on getting my rocket out to try and take out my opponent's tower. Now, there are other buildings that you can definitely use. You can use the Tesla Tower, you can use the cannon, whatever floats your boat, honestly. You could even do the Furnace if you really want to, or the Mortar if you want to have a little bit more of a pricey card in there that can do some damage by itself. After you've selected your buildings, the next step is choosing other cards that are low cost, but also very defensive in the game. Now, I chose the Skeleton Army because they cost 3 elixir, they're really cheap. The Princess and the Ice Wizard are both really good cards at really just being defensive. I like having the Princess in here because she can do some additional chip cycle or some chip damage on the tower when my rocket is not available, or if I just need like that extra 100 damage on an opponent's tower. I also have the Mega Minion. Now, these cards are not the only cards that you can use. You can use a lot of different types of cards. The idea, though, is you want them to be slow and usually a little bit less pricey as well. Some other cards that could include the Knight, the Guards, or the Ice Golem, but it's not limited to these. You just want to be able to try and play it as defensively as you can and put all of your offensive abilities into your rocket. When you're making a rocket deck, there are 2 different win conditions, okay? Now, there's the rocket cycle, where you just have the rocket and then you have a lot of really cheap cards, maybe the regular skeletons or even the Ice Spirit, and then you try and cycle back to the rocket so you can get damage on their tower frequently. Another option is what I have in here, where it is the Rocket Mirror. Now, Rocket Mirror definitely did not used to be a very good win condition until they gave a big buff to the mirror. Now it is a win condition, but you want to try and use that mirror as infrequently as possible. Because a tournament standard rocket does just under 500 damage, your opponent's going to be very aware of how much health is on their tower when you get close to that 500. Because of that, they will do everything to prevent you from getting 6 elixir once their tower is at that 500 mark. Because of that, we have the mirror in here so that you will only have to get your opponent's tower to about 1,000 health left, and then you can take them out. Now, this does take some skill. This means that you probably want to save your mirror until you can get that final kill the majority of the time, so that they don't know that you can actually do that. Once you have your deck all built and ready to go, the next step is learning how to play Rocket Siege. Now, Rocket Siege seems like a really easy playstyle, but it's actually really difficult to learn and master. You're not going to do very well if you simply just rocket the tower by itself. Instead, you need to wait for your opponent to play some sort of supporting troop, usually one that at least costs 3 elixir or more, and try and rocket that supporting troop when it's still within range of the tower so that you can rocket both the tower and that troop. Because this is the best way to use your rocket and to get some damage done on your opponent's tower, it is important that your opponent is not switching lanes very frequently. If they're switching lanes, they're going to be placing their supporting troops behind different towers, and then you have to try and whittle down both towers to try and get a win. That's not very easy, and usually that will not result in you winning. Because of that, the best thing that you can do is try and make your opponent commit to a lane. You do this by letting them get a little bit of damage done on your tower before using your rocket a ton. Now, you don't want to just give them that damage, you want to try and make them fight for it, but maybe let them get a little bit of damage on your tower just by making some positive elixir exchanges. For example, the Hog Rider costs 4 elixir and the Ice Wizard costs 3 elixir. If you save that 1 elixir, the Hog Rider is still going to get a hit or two on the tower. That's okay. We want to let them do that so they are forced to commit to the lane and they're less likely to switch to the opposite side. Then it's just a matter of cycling through your cards, getting damage on the opponent's tower, defending on your side against tanks with your defensive buildings, and of course mirroring that rocket, making them give that wow emotion, and good game. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like, subscribe button, and comment in the section below. This is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in the arena.